Imagine waking up every day feeling trapped, not by walls or chains, but by an invisible force that says success belongs to a handful of places, places like Silicon Valley. And if you're not there, your chances shrink, your voice fades, and your impact is limited. Think about the talent sitting half a world away, brilliant minds, desperate to ignite their potential, but stuck watching from the sidelines because of a zip code, a passport, a set of borders. It's maddening, isn't it? To realize the world says, you can dream big, as long as you stay in this box. This invisible prison is silent but deadly. It drones on in every boardroom, every funding pitch, every job description that demands local presence. It suffocates the creativity, the drive, the hunger for those ready to build something groundbreaking. But here's the thing. This is not a story about limitation. It's a story about liberation, about breaking those chains so completely that the idea of Silicon Valley as the sole birthplace of innovation feels archaic, almost laughable. Because teams that fly without borders, teams scattered across continents, time zones, cultures, are not just the future. They are the present screaming to be recognized. These teams bring together a cocktail of ideas, perspectives, experiences that no single hub on the planet could ever match. When people are forced into Silicon Valley, they bring their whole self, their dreams, their habits, their memories, but shrink parts of them to fit a mold, a system. Borderless teams don't just bring their whole selves, they amplify each other's differences. Imagine the fire of an entrepreneur in Lagos meeting the analytical mind of someone in Berlin, combined with the relentless execution skills of a professional in Bangalore. It's like the perfect storm of innovation, a storm no single location can conjure alone. The pain so many founders and investors feel is the gnawing doubt. Am I chasing a dream confined to a single city or region? Am I missing out because of where I am or where I'm not? And that pain doesn't just hurt startups. It kills potential investments before they even get the chance to be realized. It wastes capital, it wastes time, and it starves the future of fresh ideas just because of geography. But here lies the secret. Borderless teams are the exact antidote to this systemic flaw. They redefine risk. They diversify perspective. They operate with a relentless pulse that no centralized tech hub can maintain. If there is one truth about innovation, it's this. It thrives where constraints push creativity harder, not where rules calm the waters. Silicon Valley has its charm, no doubt, but it's built on an ecosystem that can breed comfort zones, echo chambers, and complacency. Borderless teams live on the edge of chaos, where different languages, cultures, and time zones demand constant adaptation, sharpened communication, and a hunger for connection that Silicon Valley's cozy networks often lack. They don't just survive this complexity, they harness it. They turn friction into fuel. Do you feel the frustration of endless Zoom calls that never quite sync? The exhaustion of chasing talent locally when the brilliance you need might as well be orbiting another planet? The fear of missing out, because big names and investors still think the magic only happens inside a building in Palo Alto or New York? This is the struggle that makes founders question their path late at night, the struggle that makes investors hesitate, waiting for a safer bet from a familiar place. It's a painful reality, but it's one that dissolves when teams go borderless with full intent. How? How do you ensure these scattered stars move as one constellation rather than as a flickering collection? By designing systems not just for control, but for trust. Not for micromanagement, but for autonomy. The secret weapon is selective alignment. Connecting the few whose fire refuses to dim, whose vision burns so brightly they don't need watching. Only empowerment. It's about fiercely choosing collaborators who don't settle, who don't just nod along because it's easier, but who speak up, challenge, and drive forward, even through setbacks and chaos. These relationships become more than just workflows and emails. They become battles fought on the same side, where distance is irrelevant because the mission lights a fire inside everyone. The silos break down. The old hierarchies vanish. What remains is pure purpose. And this isn't a pipe dream. From remote founders who've built multi-million-dollar companies without ever stepping foot in Silicon Valley to investors accessing fresh markets and ideas in ways previously impossible. It's real. Borderless teams are already outperforming legacy systems simply by embracing difference instead of fearing it. But this revolution demands a new code. Old rules and assumptions won't get you there. It's not about responding to the market, but about transforming how you see yourself, not as a part of a location or an identity fixed by birth or circumstance, but as a limitless, sovereign individual. Your will becomes your weapon. You question everything, the norms, this is how it's always been done. You selectively forge alliances with those who burn as fiercely as you do. Patience becomes your ally in a game where the short term is a distraction and the long term is your craft. There's an incredibly powerful freedom tied to borderless teams, and it's the freedom to tap into the collective human capital without borders, bureaucracy, or bias. Imagine investing not in known markets, but in raw, unpolished genius, scattered all across the globe. Imagine building companies that represent the real world, not sanitized, curated hubs, but a true collage of voices, backgrounds, and untapped potential. This is the liberation from the false narrative that says innovation is tied to zip codes, that capital flows only one way, that equity is reserved for those who can show up in person at fancy offices. Number. The future belongs to those who tear down walls, not just literally, but metaphorically, who refuse comfort zones and inherited gatekeepers. And yes, this path isn't easy. The brutal truth is that borderless teamwork demands more than convenience. It demands courage. Unsparing, restless courage. Courage to deal with miscommunication, time zone headaches, cultural differences that can sting, and the loneliness of forging new paths when everyone clings to the old. But that courage doesn't wear you down. It forges you. It shapes leaders, investors, founders who don't just accept the world's limits, they shatter them. Every hurdle you face in creating and leading a borderless team is a signal you're doing something vital, something the world desperately needs. It is proof that you are part of the few who refuse to be convenient, who refuse to accept that the world's old maps will define their journey. And here's the truth to cling to. The magic doesn't lie in where you work. It lies in the fire you carry and how you choose to combine it with the fires of others who see the world not as it is, but as it could be. Borderless teams don't homogenize brilliance. They unleash it. They multiply it. They make the impossible inevitable. Every investor watching this, every founder, every leader hungry for change, you are sitting on the edge of one of the greatest shifts in human collaboration ever. To ignore the borderless revolution is to miss the wave that will make or break legacies. To embrace it is to step into a role not just as a builder, but as a liberator of talent, as an architect of the future, where your network is a living, breathing organism of diverse firepower, not a gated enclave of old money and old ideas. And remember, this transformation isn't about waiting for permission or approval. It's about demanding your space in the world on your own terms. To those who feel that burning tension inside, that silent voice screaming to do more, be more, create more, this is your call. The system that says, stay put, lies to you. Borders are illusions, barriers that crumble once challenged. Your power is in your decision to become borderless. Don't just imagine a future where brilliant, diverse minds connect across oceans, across cultures, across time zones. Live it, build it, lead it. Because the teams that will outpace Silicon Valley will be not those shackled to geography, but those free enough to pull from the edges, to weave a network so tight in vision, so loose in geography, that nothing can stop them. This is not the future whispered in secret rooms. It's the revolution happening right now. Be the spark that ignites that wildfire. There is no comfort in the old way anymore. The world demands something more radical, more human, more alive. Borderless teams don't just break the mold, they build a new world on the rubble of the old. The question isn't could borderless teams outperform Silicon Valley? The question is, how soon will you start burning to prove it?